Sorry about the disappointed look. I'm just used to looking like that. I'm not disappointed at all. Always great news when I go out and about. And I'm going to say this, that my cup is so easy to fill. It's so small. If you drop a little bit of liquid in there, it's just like, yo, yeah, I get real happy. So, how did everything go? Y'all know I went to the soup kitchen and God taught, what is this? What is this? What is that? Was that in my hair the whole time? God taught me another lesson as usual. You know, I talked about perception management and looks and how I didn't care about any of that. But, you know, and today I didn't care nothing about it really myself. But this was it's always for me if something happens to, oh, my glasses. If something happens to go over well with people, it's not because I intentionally put it together. The most close that I get to intentionally putting something together is an interview. And for an interview, usually I'll just throw on a polo shirt, okay, and nothing else, literally. And that's just because it's easy, and you know, it's no question as to whether it's not appropriate or whatever, right? So I'm gonna tell you how it went. It should have everything should have been blocked, so you shouldn't have been able to see or hear some of the things. But you know, when I stepped out, I went and like I said, I started canvassing whoever I saw that I thought would be receptive. I saw one woman that I kind of sort of, you know, knew of, and when you get to know your neighbors and people, they are the sweetest thing. This is so annoying. I had this, and actually I had this taped to my face like so. I did, I really did. But the sweat made the tape go away, and that's the only reason wasn't there. But when you get to know your neighbors and to know anybody in general, to know people, is to love them. When you get to know who they are, is to love them. When we don't know people, we have perceptions of people. You know what I'm saying? And those perceptions sometimes are led the wrong way. Just like what you're seeing now, it looks cuckoo, love her crazy, and I get it. If I saw this, I would think the same. But that's why I need y'all to listen to me. There's functionality behind it. Um, so with this woman, like I said, when you get to know people, you learn to love them, you know, and you love them because you know their story, you know who they are. You're no longer fearful of what they might do, what they might not do. You know who they are. This woman, I absolutely adore and love her. You know, I love her. But anyhow, it was a really good interaction. There's another guy that I've seen a couple times around. I didn't know. I couldn't figure out really who this guy is, and you know, I always assume just because I've been handing out my information everywhere, which I will no longer be handing out this information because I can't see on the phone and it's causing problems, right? I'm sorry you have to see this. I'm super thirsty, but so you know, I saw him yesterday, and you know, I spoke, and I kind of went on because I was so hot and so tired, and I didn't know who this guy was until today, until I ended up at the soup kitchen. He ended up at the soup kitchen, and he was with the girl that you know invited me to church, but didn't give me the address, and you know said we have a ride, but then we don't, but then we just got to ride back, you know. So all of that. But I'm going to tell you something. You know, a little bit of encouragement, just the tiniest bit, goes the longest way, especially for me. Like I said, you drop a if you stand over my cup that needs love and you bat an eyelid and some perspiration drops into it, that's love. To me, I consider that love. So, and I have to be careful, you know, but you know, that was a great experience. It took my soul up into the stratosphere. My whole spirit was just up there, okay? And so what ends up, and that's me. I'm easy, okay? All right, I'm easy to please. That's it. You know, all it takes is a little bit for me. And so you know, I get to the soup kitchen, you know, and I hear somebody yelling at somebody, and I'm thinking there might be somebody yelling at me, so I'm doing this number because my glasses won't stay up, and I'm trying to look around, but he's yelling at some girl that he knows with her kids and everything. And I'm like, okay, so I speak to the girl, I go in, and I'm pouring down with sweat. So some of the barriers that I have when interacting with people in person, this woman kind of knows me, so she appreciated me, but she was like, you need to get your glasses fixed. And like I said, it looks insane. It's insaner than this. It was a big piece of tape just like this. Because I was tired of the glasses falling off my face. So I said, bump it. I'm going to just tape it. It's a good thing I didn't tape it down the middle, which Maybe in a past life I would have, but because of so many different perceptions, I at least drew the line there. Okay, but so I had to tape to the side of my face. Then as I'm talking, I'm sharing the information. She's into it. She understands what I'm doing, and part of she even shared with me something that was very similar to what I want to do that she had experienced, and it actually becomes a resource for me if I ever need it in the future. But then the next thing that really distracted her, and I've seen this happen before, is sweat. I sweat a lot. I'm standing there and it's like literally, like somebody just came and dumped water on me. Like I could do the next scene and flash dance, except my hair wasn't wet like that. But I mean, that's how wet I was from sweat. So it distracts people. And then, but she, like I said, she kind of knew me, so she wasn't that distracted. Went on to go about my business, and on the way to the kitchen, you stop and speak to people. Some of those people know you, some of them don't. And if they speak to me, typically I just understand that they may or may not know me from walking down the street and walking to the soup kitchen. So this guy said something to me, and I asked him because I was like, he looks like a man that does yard work. So I asked him, I said, hey, do you do yard work? He says, yeah. And I said, do you have your own supplies? He says, yeah. And I said, I might need your help, but I have to tell you, it's voluntary, volunteering. And and after he started to talk, because y'all know I'm long with it, he's like, I got to get out this sun. Let me just give you my information. So he writes his information down, but he gets the gist of it, and he puts a nice little comment for anybody else seeing it. What a wonderful guy, right? So I go on, I see a couple ladies on the porch talking. I don't think they really want to be bothered, and they probably overheard the conversation I was having with him. So I let it go, let it go, let them enjoy their porch time. Eventually she'll see me some more and maybe trust me and maybe even invite me up to talk about whatever I want to talk about. So I get to the soup kitchen. I get there and like I said, I volunteered there once, and I was told not to come back, but not in those words, but pretty much, we'll call it, yeah, because I thought everybody was homeless, but they're not. So that's the deal. So next up, there's people that work there, like I said, and I volunteered there with one lady. She wasn't up front. And people were showing genuine interest. And again, once again, I do understand it might just be just because I have a dress on. So it's just the nature of people. So yeah, but it was a really good experience. I got this information with someone that could make a difference. That could actually be a resource. So hopefully I'll be connecting with him later. I got 3 or 4 connects for later on today. And a couple of them have already been confirmed, right? And so then this other one, I have to be careful too because again, I don't know presenting myself to people. And there's a guy that, always before the soup kitchen, always whenever I walk past, he has the sweetest heart and sweetest spirit. And to me, I align with this person almost perfectly. And one time I got him mixed up with, I didn't realize he had a brother, but I kept getting mixed up. And I was like, I know, because their spirits are completely different. His spirit is so sweet and so wholesome and so nice. His brother's spirit is more like, boom, 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 but they look very similar, right? Um, One is always on a bike, the other one's in front of the house all the time. And so, we're talking, and I'm like, hey, such and such, and I give him a hug and whatever. A side hug because I'm sweaty. I'm not giving any front hugs. So, side hug. And, I asked him, I said, hey, you said you do lawn work, right? He said, yeah. And I said, will you do my lawn? He was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then, he had no problem immediately putting his information down. And then after a while, me and him are talking, and I guess, he rode up with somebody that somebody had hung back. But then that somebody eventually realized that I'm long-winded. We're going to be there for a minute. So they come out, right? And it's a guy, he's like on a polo shirt with a name tag on it. So I'm figuring he probably runs some lawn care business or something. And this is his buddy, or his employee or whatever. So, he's standing there and I'm thinking he's going to go on and go on about his business. Now, the rest of the family, I met the rest of his family. They all look alike. This guy looks different. He's light and, that. So then, as we're talking, I'm so thirsty right now. I'm going to get to work. I promise you. I promise you I'm going to get to work because I have to. But I have to share these stories because the reason I share these stories is because they uplift and encourage me. I need all the encouragement I get. So this is me encouraging myself from the experiences that I had. So this is productive, okay? So I need it. I need it. I need all the love and support and encouragement I can get, even if it's from myself. So I'm giving this to me. And hopefully anybody else is going through all the stuff and trying to do things and whatever. But so, as I'm talking to, my buddy, the one that I always walk past on the street or past his house. Actually, I walk past his house all the time. So, we're chatting it up and he's like, yeah, no problem. And then the guy that he's with, is realizing that I'm long with it. We're going to be there a minute. So he comes on up out the truck. And, he stands there. And I'm like, after a while, I'm like, oh, is this your boss? And he's like, no, that's not my boss. That's my cousin. And at that point, I hit the floor because now I've met basically the whole family unintentionally and all in pretty uniquely good situations. Like I said, I didn't know the two were brothers until um, I don't know. It's like they all started connecting together in different weird situations. Not weird, but unique. Not weird, but serendipitous situations. That were very delightful actually. And this is another delight. Because I'm just like, yo, this is like the fourth person I met in family, and I keep meeting family. But I guess I shouldn't be shocked because Valdosta is small. Everybody's probably related or connected in one way or another. It's only 5 miles across. Like I said, a couple of soup kitchens ago, I was there and there was a guy that was working sanitation. He came to talk to me, and I was like, "Hey, don't we go visit the same church? Go to the same? Don't you go to this church?" And he's like, "Yeah." We started talking, and he was just like, "Well, you know, let's chat. I'm gonna be sitting with these ladies over here. These ladies over here. I thought we're just random soup kitchen people, but no, and maybe friends of his, but no, that's his mom and his cousin. What? So everybody's related. Everybody's related somehow. So I have a headache now from talking so much. But yeah. And so what I'm saying, and then it's too much, you guys. It's too much to even talk about. And I bet this is like 30 minutes in already, and I can't really afford that much time. You know what I'm saying? But then after that, so I asked him. I kind of pitched his cousin, because his cousin's different. So I pitched his cousin, and his cousin is just like, well, he's asking me these questions. And I'm just like asking open questions about trying to see if I'm serious about what I'm doing. He's asking me those type of questions, like are you serious? He didn't ask those questions, but basically that's what it boils down to. Are you serious about what you're doing, or are you just trying to make yourself feel good? Which people do. They walk around and talk about stuff to make themselves feel good. But no, this is a need. I do need my lawn done. I do have a weekend event that's coming up that I want to make successful, but I do need help. Now, if I don't get help, can I still do it? Yeah, but it's gonna look real bad. But I'm still gonna do it. And then also the ad hoc soup kitchen. That's definitely something that's needed, and we all need to be. It needs to happen, and I put intentionally on there specifically that, hey, when we have the volunteer and the resources together, that's when we'll start working on it. It ain't that right now. We'll work on it. I need more. I can't do it by myself. You know what I'm saying? I need people that want to help me, that understand these situations, or just love. Because before I understood these situations, I wanted to help too, but I was doing things that I realize now, after being in those situations, they weren't typically helpful. I mean, they made me feel good, and the people that took it were probably doing me more of a favor than anything else, which may still in some cases be the case, but that's okay. So yeah, so then he was just like, well, how about you do this? You give me your information. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe privacy issue because that's a sign-in sheet. Then maybe other people see it, and I'm trying to keep it covered as it go down so people don't see everybody else's information. Just in case. I try to be respectful. So then he's like, so I give him my information, and and this is the thing that scares me a little bit when people just do, but I did tell him to just text hello. So he did, and I sent him the website. I didn't send him the other number yet, but I asked him to give me his name at least, give me a name so I know who I'm talking to. So all of that. So hopefully when I get a chance I get back, hopefully he don't be sending me on no okie dokie. Hopefully he didn't sign it because he was being responsible of his information and didn't want it on the sign-in sheet, you know, and then, maybe he wanted to just check fact, I don't know, Google me. I don't know what it is. Maybe what he want to do. You're going to see a lot of mess, but my heart is pure, I promise you. But, or, I hope it's not the flip side where really he's just like, okay, this woman is a bum. I think that she's probably vulnerable and I could probably, you know, you know, but that's not true. You cannot. No, it's because it's not that. And so I'm going to be tested. I'm going to be tested probably. I don't want to be tested, but I probably will be, to see if I'm valid. But, I hope that's not the case. And if, again, you never know who's watching and how they take things. If that person happens across this is just hypothetically speaking because that stuff does happen. It doesn't mean that that's your intention or anything like that. But that stuff does happen. People see people that are vulnerable and that are trying to do something. They're like, okay, easy mark, you know. Um, but on the other hand, not. But I can see how if somebody was watching this and they saw that part, they would be probably offended. But no, it's not intended to say that that's what that person's about because it's not necessarily true. I don't know people, but so I have to be mindful too in my communication that you may be being tested. They may want to help, but if they see that you have any weakness in your morality or integrity or anything, they'll be like, okay, she could be tried this way. Let's try her and put her in the garbage where she. And it's I'm not that. I promise you, I'm not. Then I went to check on my services, right, and y'all, it's so weird the way that God works. I told y'all about the crazy conversations I had last night because I kept hitting the wrong button. And the one where I thought it was this girl that I wanted to talk to and it turned out to be the pastor's wife is because the last four digits, when the screen is cracked, they look the same, and I typed in the numbers to search and her name came up, and that's why I thought it was that person. But from the person on the other end, they would be like, well, that doesn't make sense at all. Why in the heck would you think that, you know, this is her? It's because the numbers, even though it's hard to explain. On the screen, it looks similar, right? And the name pulled up. And I probably mistyped something in, and that's whose name pulled up. But anyways, as soon as I got to this place, she's the first person that walked out the door. She walks out as soon as I'm walking up before I have a chance to ring a doorbell or anything. So bam, she's probably going to lunch. I'm going to go check on this service. So then I ring the doorbell. When I ring the doorbell, there's two doors. And there's a representative that comes from a young, beautiful young lady at one door, a handsome young man at the other, right? And I kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed all of the attention it was. I enjoyed that, I have to admit. But then, then it came to the point where we were all like, okay, well, who's gonna help? And she was like, he can help because he was actually at the front door. And so I asked him a question. He went back to check on the question. He came back, give me an affirmative answer. I was so happy. It doesn't take me much to get overjoyed. I was overjoyed. I swear I wanted to high five somebody. And he was sweet. He was just like, here, we can fist bump. Nice. I appreciated that because I needed to celebrate, and I was probably overly appreciative. Talking about overly appreciative, when I went to the lady, the first lady that I came across to canvas or whatever, on my way to the soup kitchen. All of this is productive. I'm not just out here taking hours canvassing. I'm on my way to the soup kitchen. I'm multitasking because I'm on my way to the soup kitchen. I'm gonna see people. People are gonna talk to me. I'm gonna talk to people. Let's make use of it and let's make it a positive, productive thing. That's what I did. So I'm speaking to her, and there's this little boy. He comes up and he hugs me around my legs. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. I got a hug. And then the little boy, after a while, okay, and this is why I know I'm overly appreciative because the little boy was just like, it ain't all that. He walked off. I'm so appreciative of stuff. Even kids are just like, they give you all the love, but then they're just like, she's appreciating this too much. And I am because I haven't had a hug in a while. But actually, that's not true because I feel that way each time, though. Like when I got the hug from the gentleman at the church, I was just like, oh my gosh, a hug. And you know, I guess to some people that might creep them out because why are you so happy about a hug? Because I don't get hugs like that. I don't. So that's why I'm so happy about a hug. It's nothing weird or personal. But anyhow, so I don't think they think it is too. It makes them feel weird because nobody else acts like that about a hug except me. I do. I act like that about a hug. I act like that about any little teeny thing, any teeny offering, because I appreciate and savor anything positive. And that's why I had to stop because on my way, after all of that, on my way back today, there was this guy that kept popping up. I kept seeing him in a pink shirt. And again, I had to be careful too because my silly stuff, I'm like a little kid. I'm like, oh, nice shirt, such and such and such. I need to stop doing that because then, you don't know what you're attracting. But, again, nothing bad on that person. It's just some people ain't got the same thought process that you got on certain things. But anyways, it's all love. I'm going to take it as all love. And I'm so appreciative of that because I needed all the love that I can get after last night because that whole situation seemed cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And I knew it. If somebody was on the other side, they saw that too. And some of it was valid. Like I said, I was hitting the wrong number because I couldn't see the screen. So I was talking to people that wasn't really a part. It is what it is. But I thank God forgave all. I bumped into that lady today, and I know she didn't sense nothing, like I was angry, upset with her, and vice versa. Maybe she still thinking crazy. I don't know, but whatever. But anyways, I'm moving on from that. So, yeah, but then on the way back, there was so many more people I could have interacted with, but I didn't because my heart was so full. Like I said, it takes very little to fill my heart and literally overfill me with joy to the point where I can't put it anymore. It's just like bubbling over. And if I spoke to anybody else, and this kind of makes me lose the numbers of sponsors I get too, because if I spoke to anybody else, I would have been so over bubbling with joy that it would have been too much. You know what I'm saying? Like how Kevin Hart says that his mom get real mad and angry to the point where she'll pass out. I feel like, and it has never happened, but I feel like I can get so happy or overjoyed about something or excited about something that I could pass out. And I don't. It feels like that. It's never happened. I don't know if it will happen, but that's how it feels. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I didn't talk to anybody else after that because if I did, I would have been bouncing off of the walls. But then on the other hand too, when somebody's lying or deceitful or, not forthcoming, that hurts me. And then it completely is like somebody took the plug out of my cup of love and it all just went away. So I don't want to do that to people where it's just like, I'm overly happy about something and then it's just too much emotion for them. Almost like the young man, I think he was trying to sell insurance or something. That's what he said. I don't know if that's true. But I was walking back yesterday and it was a young guy, 25, 26. It's always that age range, 25, somewhere between 23 and 26, right? At least that's what he looked like to me because there's another insurance guy that I ran into that's like 50 something. I swear he looks about 28. He looks good for his age. But, um, he started talking to me about it and it was just like his energy was so strong and I couldn't take it. It was too strong. But then in hindsight, I was like, shoot, I should have just got his information and I could have used him. He could have been a vendor at the event. But I allowed my emotions to take over and be like, oh, this is too much for me. He's like scrappy. He's like, so, he's so into whatever. But anyhow, God bless them all is all I can say. But God bless them, everyone. Thank you. And I'm going to say this into the universe. These people, of course, ain't here. But thank you to everyone that spoke to me today. Thank you to everyone that deposited it into my heart today, into my mind, into my spirit, into my soul today. Thank you for God, to God, hopefully for maneuvering things in a way that's going to be favorable to me. And so that, and maybe, the blessing is the curse and the curse is the blessing. Like me going to the soup kitchen. Yeah, that takes hours because it takes me about 45 minutes to get there, 45 minutes to get back, and then an hour to sit and eat. And then if I'm networking, even more, but maybe that's the blessing. I wouldn't be able to network if I didn't have to go to the soup kitchen. And if I was just going to the store to pick up exactly the food I want to eat and come back, then I probably won't be talking to anybody because, I wouldn't be, you know. But anywho, so I'm gonna get back on to the next thing on my list. I need water because I'm dying of thirst here, and this needs to be washed. I don't know if there's condensation or or what's going on, but that looks kind of cloudy. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. So I need to have some water because I'm so thirsty, and then I need to still need to find that key for storage. I need to call these people back because, really they had other options. And I know, and that other option was a lot more fun than what I got going on. And they would have to do a lot less work. But the people that's down with me like that, the person that's down with me like that, they realize that, yeah, that's a lot more fun. But I made this commitment to this lady. And, her cost, she's real about it. Because if she wasn't real about it, you know, she gonna embarrass herself like this. So I'm gonna get on it, you guys. I'm so thankful. I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I'm very thankful. But when you get to know me, either through here or otherwise, it takes very little to fill my cup. My cup is running over. It was running over to the point where I couldn't even talk to anybody anymore because it would be too much. I'd be splashing them with overjoy, and they probably didn't sign up for all that. So, but I'm gonna get it together right now. What I was now back, my mind has come back to where we are, the contacts database, because I need to make all these phone calls and connections um, with my finances. Okay, starting with mine. So, Miss Lady, if you're watching, I got you. With my finances, and then the storage key. Did I write all this stuff down? I think I wrote it down. But anyways, I'm out because I'm taking up too much time now. Bye. Love y'all. See y'all soon.